Hardly 24 hours have gone by since I addressed many of the respected viewers of my live telecasting. Indeed, I continued to speak yesterday and write on the issue via Facebook. Last night, I felt obliged to thank the Honourable Judiciary of the Republic of Indonesia for convicting an offender, a former teacher, who assaulted indecently at least 8 girls, making them mothers. The girls, the victimized girls, were not older than 16, and youngest of them was, or I should say the youngest of them were, even as young as 11 years old, 11 years old, 11 years of age. Although this may be not sufficient punishment for a person who so deprives ladies of their livelihood in practical sense, yet the sentence that the offender would not be able to leave prison throughout his life, as he was imprisoned for life, was even a drop into the ocean, and to my some satisfaction. Today it is already the 16th of February of the Gregorian year 2022, and it's Wednesday. But I still crave leave to continue because my live telecasting of last night showed certain defects on the video recording, leading individuals to reach wrongful conclusions. By no means and under no circumstances would I have defended the convicted offender. On the contrary, I believe that his punishment was befitting his crime, perhaps not even serious enough. If I am not wrong, those little girls, if I may call them, because a girl of 11 is too young to become a mother, as it may be also in the cases of some of the other victims. Too grave an injustice was done upon those young girls, those young victims. But if that person is kept behind the bars for the rest of his life, it may not be sufficient remedies to remedy those victims, yet it is likely to discourage certain other individuals who may be tempted to commit very similar offences against such innocent, indeed, if I may use the expression, defenseless victims. Those victims were attending a boarding school. Their cell phones were confiscated by the offender. They were not permitted to visit their families for a considerable period of time while they were bearing children. no doubt, for which the offender alone was blameworthy. But as I also pointed out last night, this is too little a fraction towards the betterment of our world. All of us are called upon to defend the rights of babies, children, and youths. It is regrettable that so little is being done in order to protect the rights, the legitimate rights of babies, children, and youths, when so much money is spent on various other things. I do not know whether I can justify the money that is spent on wars. I fear to add, I cannot justify such an act. Far less can I justify when people spend so much money trying to discover planets far beyond our reach, or even to travel onto some of them. When so desperate need does not merely occur, but is continuing from day to day, day upon day, week upon week, month upon month, year upon year, indeed decade upon decade, even for centuries. I believe we need to spend that money to protect the babies, the children, and the youths who are the true future of our world. I have very little knowledge about international law, and therefore I venture not to express my personal opinion on the judgment delivered by the European Court of Justice, dismissing the appeals brought to them by Poland and Hungary. But I cannot rule out my fears that such decisions may lead to grave injustice in future, particularly if men are permitted to continue certain acts contrary to the Holy Bible, even the Torah, both the Old and the New Testaments of the Holy Bible, particularly if children are kept under the care of such men. In the Old Testament of the Holy Bible, or in the Torah, we see God the Almighty, and permit me to cover my head when I pronounce his holy name. God the Almighty chooses a little boy Samuel to reprove the high priest Eli. In consequence of the abuse of Eli's sons in offering the gifts to the Almighty and returning the legitimate parts to those who offered such sacrifices. In the New Testament, Jesus Christ speaks time and time again, emphatically underlining the importance of children. For example, he says, "Let the children come to me, for such belong the kingdom of heaven." In another place he says, "Those who even tempt such little ones, it would have been better for them if a millstone, or I should say in plural, millstones were hung round their necks. They were drowned in the ocean or in the water." By this, of course, I am not advocating the penalty of death by drowning or even the penalty of death. All I'm saying, that the Holy Bible, the word of the living God, bears witness to the facts underlining the importance of children of our world. It is our duty that we protect the children, upholding their rights. We seek remedies on their behalf when they are victimized. If we do not protect them, we dishonor our Creator, their Creator. If we do not speak out on their behalf, we disregard their Creator and the true Creator of all of us. If we do not try to defend them, we most certainly fail to honor their Creator and our Creator. Babies and children are the true personification of their Creator and our Creator. We dishonor our Creator, even their Creator, the same one, the Almighty and the only true and living God, if we fail to acknowledge the rights of their children. I therefore most humbly beg you, wearing the same clothes which I wore last night while telecasting very similar message, showing my humility, and therefore I beg you most humbly to come forward and to speak out on behalf of those baby victims, child victims, youth victims, who are unable to speak out on their own, who are too frightened to speak up. I beg you most humbly, please do not fail to carry out this moral duty imposed upon all of us, even by their Creator, the same Creator who created all of us. And I bid you His protection. Thank you once again for viewing this live telecasting or the video recording of the same at your convenience. And thank you from the very core of my heart in anticipation for coming forward in protection of the rights of babies, children, and youths, while remembering the fact that media freedom is corrupting our world too. It is so easy to access sites which show violence against children, even by immoral means. It remains our duty to discourage such visibility of such sites by curtailing the rights of the film industry. Thank you for your kind understanding and your kind efforts, while bearing in mind that we could be in the stead of those babies, those victims, even those children and youths. They could be our babies, our children. Indeed, we owe them this duty of care, without any doubt, without any sort of contradiction whatsoever. Thank you, and God bless.